Hello, and welcome to Crime in Court. My name is Heather, and this is episode 78 of the Canton cover up Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. And basically, it's the Commonwealth versus the people. Anyone who objects to something that the Commonwealth did in their investigation becomes an issue in Massachusetts. This episode, we're talking about Duckgate, where the Commonwealth tramples over citizens' civil rights again over some rubber duckies. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be going through the police report that was done in effort to track down who was leaving rubber ducks all over town, apparently. So there is a man who owns Canton Fence. It's in here somewhere. The name of his fencing company. He's a wholesaler, fencing. He sells fence for wholesalers. And I forgot what I was going to say now. He he's been basically targeted, we'll say, by the police of Canton. This is Canton police that did this investigation into him, into whoever was leaving these duckies around town, which we're going to find out they did about a 6-month long investigation into these darn rubber duckies, which have become kind of a symbol of the Karen Reed movement, one of the many symbols that there are, but one of the symbols of the Karen Reed movement, because Alan Jackson said at one pre-trial hearing that if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, well then, because was so much evidence in the beginning, even before going to trial, that there was some corruption and some shady business going on. So, having said all that, this is the police report to investigate rubber ducks. I'm not kidding you. As far as I know, this man has not been charged. Or if he has, he is out because he was just on Turtle Boy's show last night, Saturday, this past weekend. So he was just on Turtle Boy's Live. If you want to hear an exclusive interview with him and Turtle Boy, it was a good show. He explains a lot of the background of the ducks and how they came to be. So let's get started here. Let me shrink myself down and let's read this Canton Police report. This is from a Timothy Taylor. Now, I heard rumors. I'm going to say rumors because I don't know if it is 100% verified, but he had a dog, and this was on Twitter. This was going around by very good sources were saying this on Twitter or X. That Timothy Taylor is an officer that had a canine assigned to him, and he left his dog in the car. It ended up expiring from heat exhaustion, which is extremely horrible, awful. No charges, nothing. Like a canine is an officer of the law. So if you take the life of a canine, even if it's accidental, like that's an officer. They treat them like officers. If it was, a suspect in the middle of some kind of shootout or something and the dog died, then that would be a charge towards that individual for shooting a police officer. So he never got any charges. He was, in fact, told to take some time off on a paid leave after that happened. And it's just sick and disgusting. And I can't believe someone would do that. And still, he's an officer of the law. If it was a human being, he'd be charged. So why not any different with a dog? It's still a human. It's still a life. But anyways, I'm not going to get into the politics of that. Let's begin. All right. So beginning. This is a really long document, FYI. So we might just be skipping through some things. or at least speed reading. All right, so beginning in 2023, D&E Pizza, remember that is Chris Albert's mediocre pizza shop that never has anyone going to get pizza. He has no business. Um, the beginning of 2023, D&E Pizza and Subs, located on Washington Street, started to become the target of several incidents, including but not limited to harassment. Some of these incidents led to the Canton Police Department conducting several criminal investigations and continue to present day. These investigations have led to several individuals being charged criminally with misdemeanors and or felonies. They fail to mention that the people being charged are the McAlberts, Jim Ferris and Jill Daniels, the sister of Julie Albert, both assaulted Turtle Boy. I did it, I covered this on my show a while back when it happened. There was an incident. They happened to go. D&E Pizza is right next door to CF McCarthy's, which is the first bar that John and Karen were drinking at before they went to the waterfall. So CF McCarthy's is now this, legendary place that people are. It's popular in and of its own right, but now everybody wants to go there because everybody talks about it because of this trial and whatnot. So you're going to have, visitors and it's going to get crowded. Well, anyways, it's right next to D&E. And anybody going into D&E who has a free Karen Reed sticker on their car or anything closely related to supporting Karen Reed, they get harassed by Chris Albert and his minions, which are like Colin, his son, and all the same individuals that were around when they were basically assaulting Turtle Boy and verbally assaulting his girlfriend Meredith. One of them did assault her. He put his hands on her and just like putting his hand on her shoulder or something, which ew. Anyways, yeah. So those are the only misdemeanor criminal charges that I know of. Anyways, two. As a result of one of these incidents in late October of 2023, I began an investigation. So back from October 2023, this investigation started into a particular matter. This investigation later led me to charge an individual with violations. So they did charge him. Obstruction of justice, false police report. No, this was something else then. A false report of a crime to a police officer and obstruction of justice. Who is that? D&E Pizza and Subs is a family-owned business and operated by Chris Albert. His son, Colin Albert, frequents the business. Both Chris and Colin Albert are witnesses in the ongoing Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Prior to the trial commencing in 2024, Colin Albert testified before a federal grand jury. Also prior to the trial, both Chris and Colin Albert testified before a Massachusetts grand jury. That is actually, this part is a lie. Colin never testified in front of a state grand jury. Where did it say that? Yeah, here. This part's a lie. Colin never testified in front of a state grand jury. He only testified in front of the federal grand jury, which is when the feds came and they served him at his college dorm. And he had such PTSD from that. Now he can't go back to school because he's so traumatized by all the witness intimidation because he got served a subpoena to go to court when he was at college. That's why. All right, so the grand jury testimonies were given prior to March of 2024. They both appeared on the Commonwealth versus Reed witness list. Both Chris and Colin later went on to testify as witnesses for the Commonwealth during the trial. On January 29th, 2022, John O'Keefe was discovered outside the property of 34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass. John was later declared deceased by medical professionals. As a result of his death, Karen Reed was later criminally charged and later indicted by a grand jury for second-degree homicide. So first she was indicted for manslaughter, and then they upped the charges to the grand jury upped the charges to second degree. Later in 2023, conspiracy theorists claim that on the night of Friday, January 28th into Saturday, the 29th, Colin was inside the house. I love how they say conspiracy theorists say this when it was proven that Colin was in the house. It's not a theory. It was testified to at trial that he was in that house. And um also the way that this is written, there's a period here, not a comma. So let me read it how the grammar goes. Later in 2023, conspiracy theorists claim that on the night of Friday, February 28th into Saturday the 29th, period, Colin was inside the house at 34 Fairview Road at the same time as John O'Keefe and that Colin Albert took John O'Keefe's life. That is a full-on sentence. They just admitted it in a court filing that Colin had something to do with it. Periods matter, commas matter, punctuation matters. I know it's kind of blurry because this was taken from pictures, but I can assure you that is a period, and they admit right there. Colin was inside the house at the same time John was. Bam, end of story. We don't need to discuss it any further. All right, so both of these claims were completely disproven via testimony given by several witnesses, including Colin Albert, who testified under oath during the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Every witness that was present inside 34 Fairview Road on January 29th later testified under oath. All stated that John O'Keefe never entered the residence. That they said they never saw John enter the residence. There's a difference. They never saw him enter the residence. And people lie. People can lie on the stand, especially when it's your family members that are going to take the heat if you don't. And your family members are also the ones pressuring you to lie on the stand. So there's that. Where did I leave off? Trooper Garino. Every witness that was present testified that they never saw him enter the house, or that he never entered the house. Massachusetts State Police Trooper Garino also testified that GPS data from John O'Keefe's cell phone showed that he never entered 34 Fairview. He testified to it, yes, but again, he could be wrong. How do we know? He gave us some goofy explanation as to, oh, well, if you just shake your phone around, it's going to say that, you went up these flights of steps as you were also going over a hill when you were driving, and the moon was like a quarter moon and a sliver, and the air was just right that night. Those are like the things you would need to all have in place for the phone to track steps when he wasn't taking steps up and down flights of stairs. His Apple data said 3 flights of stairs. As far as I know, SUVs don't have stairs. And if he was a couple blocks away, you get the point. If he was a couple blocks away, like Garino said, yeah, how was he going up and down flights of stairs in an SUV on a hill? It just doesn't make sense, and it's a lie. This testimony and evidence made it possible for Colin Albert to be a suspect in John O'Keefe's homicide, contrary to the conspiracy theory that Colin Albert took John O'Keefe's life. This conspiracy has led to various harassment and littering incidents. Don't forget the littering, okay, guys? Don't litter. I mean, really, you shouldn't litter, but leaving little ducks around as a show of solitude in your town for a really important cause, that's not littering. And these include, but not limited to, the use of the tagline, Colin did it, which is very open ended. Colin did what? Colin said bang bang. Colin said pull up, bitch. He did those things. Yes, yes, he did. Colin landed on his knuckles and got just his knuckles scraped up. That I don't think Colin did, but you get the point. There are many things that Colin could have done in the phrase Colin did it. And yeah, so this phrase, this tagline, Colin did it, stamped in red ink on counterfeit $100 bills, which, let's be clear, he's passing out fake money, play money. It's joke money that obviously is not real if it says Colin did it on it. He's not trying to pass it off as real money and trying to purchase things with it. That would be a crime. To make his own fake duck bills, whatever he wants to call them, that's not a crime. And that's what they're trying to get him on. And they keep calling it counterfeit throughout this report, and it's really annoying. All right, so these counterfeit $100 bills and the same phrase attached to yellow rubber duckies via a sticker. These incidents, rubber duckies saying Colin did it and counterfeit $100 bills saying Colin did it. These incidents have led to a social movement and has harassed Chris and Colin Albert, telling them to tell the truth. Apparently, that's witness intimidation if you tell someone to be honest. And they cannot duck the truth about John O'Keefe's homicide. Both have given testimony contradictory to the conspiracy theory. Yeah, okay. And we're just supposed to believe them on their word when they were so easily impeached many times on the stand. Therefore, these incidents are intended to persuade both of them to alter their previously given testimonies. Give me a break. How do you know what the intention was? You can't be inside this guy's head. His name is Rich something. We'll get to it. I'm sure it's in here, all over here. We'll get to that part. If I would just shut up and read. It's just that there's so many things that are wrong with this. This guy is lying. He's saying things to purposely say counterfeit bills and whatever. Charging him with littering and witness intimidation. This is what he's being charged with. All right, so in July of 2024, the trial ended in the jury being deadlocked and a mistrial being declared by Judge Beverly Cannoni. Therefore, this is still an ongoing matter that has not yet been fully adjudicated, and a new trial is scheduled to begin in January of 2025. Chris and Colin Albert are both expected to testify as witnesses for the Commonwealth in this next trial, although next month the Superior Court will be hearing arguments for dropping charges 1 and 3. So that is coming up soon. So we might not be going to trial for all 3 counts, hopefully. Number 8, the investigation, as further described below, has been an ongoing investigation for approximately 6 months. It has included letters of preservation, the execution of search warrants, surveillance, which included my own observation of several crimes committed, witness statements, some of whose identity is otherwise being withheld at this time due to fear of retribution. Alrighty. Similar to that of what is further described throughout this investigation. So look at all the stuff this guy did in investigating these stupid ducks that they're calling witness intimidation and littering. And Michael Proctor solved the case for John O'Keefe in 16 hours. This is a 6-month long investigation for rubber ducks. On Wednesday, March 6, 2024, first documented incident at approximately 4:30 p.m., the Canton police received a report of counterfeit, there's that word again, $100 bills being littered in the area of the intersection of Washington and Revere. This location is approximately 100 yards from D&E Pizza and Stubbs, and as you know, you can't be in anywhere in Chris's vicinity to have any kind of opinion that runs against him and his family. Upon officers May and McDonald's arrival to the area, they were handed approximately 20 counterfeit $100 bills in an envelope that said Justice for BPO John O'Keefe, number 2490, last watch 2/29/2022. It's supposed to say 1. Stamped on the front. Additionally, Colin Did It was stamped on the back. According to the witnesses that provided officers the envelope containing the counterfeit money, they stated the incident occurred at approximately 2 to 2:30 p.m. Further investigation by officers for video surveillance cameras of the area yielded no results. Later, upon examination of the counterfeit money, I took note of the fact that the date of 2/29 was incorrect. It was actually 1/29, like I said. On March 13th, 2024, second documented incident at approximately 2:44 p.m., the Canton Police Department received another report of counterfeit $100 bills that were littered in front of D&E Pizzas in Washington Street. This area can easily be observed by anyone inside D&E. Lieutenant Gallagher arrived at the scene and stopped traffic to collect the money, the counterfeit money. He stopped traffic to get the money. Ay, ay, ay. The bills located by officers in the area were the exact same counterfeit $100 bills that were recovered by officers on March 6th. They displayed Justice for BPO John O'Keefe, 2490, last watch, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Stamped on the back was Colin Did It. The counterfeit $100 bills were collected by officers on scene and brought back to the Canton Police Department. Upon closer examination of the counterfeit $100 bills, the 2 in the month portion of the date has been removed. Okay. On Saturday, April 6th, I was working as a detective from 7:45 to 3:45 p.m. Following my shift, I continued working as the officer in charge for the 3:45 to 11:45 shift. At approximately 3:25 p.m., I was made aware of a call the Canton Police Department received in regards to littering in the area of Richard Lewis Formal Wear and Kevin Michaels Men's Fine Clothing on Washington Street also. As noted in Officer Pasquarelli's report, the items littered were counterfeit $100 bills that were stamped with Justice for blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Not going to read all that again. Colin Did It is a phrase that has been used to accuse Colin Albert of taking John O'Keefe's life at 34 Fairview Road on January 29th instead of Karen Reed. Karen Reed is currently charged with second-degree homicide in his homicide. The 626 Washington Street address is in the immediate vicinity of D&E Pizza. Again, you can't be in the vicinity of Chris or Colin Albert because you're you're intimidating them and they're a witness and they can't have that. And every little thing, it makes them upset. They have very, very fragile egos. And if you even so much as talk about a rubber duck, apparently that's witness intimidation. So ridiculous that this is even happening right now. As previously noted, the owner, Chris Albert, and his son, Colin Albert, are both witnesses in the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed trial. Both testified in grand jury. They both did testify in the grand jury. Since the incident, they have both gone on to testify as witnesses in the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Canton police have been called to this area on March 6th and 13th for the same counterfeit $100 bills on Washington Street. This address has been the location for numerous instances of police service calls regarding harassment and unwanted parties in regards to the ongoing Commonwealth versus Reed trial since 2023. These police service calls have led to the executions of subpoenas and search warrants that have resulted in criminal charges that include but are not limited to violations of various witness intimidation statutes. A statute that I want to say they so this statute, the witness intimidation statute, was created recently, like in the last few years, I believe, and it was specifically created to protect DV victims so that they felt safe enough to testify against their perpetrators. But they have weaponized this statute to make anyone who speaks out against the state to be a felon. A felon. Like, this is a felon. A felony charge. And Turtle Boy has like 16, 18 of them. I don't know. A felony witness intimidation, including obstruction of justice and false police report. Who did false police reports and obstruction of justice? That I want to know. 'Cause I don't believe that is Turtle Boy. That's got to be something I'm not aware of. All right, officers Chin and Pasquarelli recovered approximately 70 of the bills and 6 yellow rubber ducks. These items were returned to the Canton Police Department. These rubber ducks are about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bit bigger. Like, they're that little. Like, you could fit them in your hand like that. And they're really tiny, and this is really intimidating to Chris. These items were returned to the Canton Police Department, where I took custody of them and placed them in evidence. At approximately 5 p.m., I was advised by Officer Pasquarelli that while on his way from the Canton PD, he noticed several more yellow ducks and counterfeit bills along Boulevard Street and Pine intersection and into the area of Cabot Duval Field area in the parking lot on Pine Street. Officer Kavanaugh was dispatched to retrieve the ducks and the bills. Upon return to the Canton, really a GI. Upon return to the Canton Police Department, I took custody of them, placed them into evidence. As my 3:45 to 11:45 shift continued, I was made aware of several more ducks with Colin Did It stickers. These ducks were located at the locations as noted above and in the areas of a bunch of different homes on Fen Court. These streets are part of the neighborhood that consists of John O'Keefe's residence prior to his loss of life. The exact location is known to the Commonwealth. Well, they didn't put it, they're not saying that they put it on the One Meadows Ave. That's not an address that they're saying. They're saying this is on Fen Court, but it's in the neighborhood near John's old residence. So then what difference does it make if it's not even near them? But they're going to get it because it's in the vicinity. So that's witness intimidation. Do you see how they are just reaching so hard? This address is currently the address where his elderly parents reside with 2 of their grandchildren. So Peggy and John Sr. are now living in the home where John was living with the niece and nephew. Both of these minor children testified in the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. Additionally, more of these ducks were located at various points on York in Stoughton. Officers Chin and Healy recovered ducks in York Street. These items were returned to CPD where I took custody of them. A confidential witness, who is known to me, was the party that located the ducks in all those other areas on the Fent Court and Casey and Burke. This confidential witness informed me some of the ducks he provided to me were also collected on York Street. In total, a confidential witness provided me with a bag containing 16 yellow ducks that all had the same Colin Did It. So if someone else is going around collecting these and you're not taking pictures, you're not, doing a proper crime scene investigation like you would, you know, a body on a lawn, let alone an officer's unconscious body on a lawn. If they're not going to take pictures and treat that like a crime scene, why would they do it with these ducks? But yet, here we are. You've just got randos collecting these things and putting them in a bag themselves and handing them to the police. And the police are just going, "Oh yeah, where'd you find them? Okay, great." We believe that as true and factual, and it's not like nobody's ever tried to frame somebody before. Commonwealth, you familiar with doing that? Ay, ay, ay. This confidential witness has been the subject of numerous incidents of harassment. This has to be either the fake victim, Lindsay Catani, or Kate Peter, the woman who Turtle Boy has an order out against because she's been harassing him for years for no reason. All right, so this confidential witness has been the subject of numerous incidents of harassment, confrontations, and doxed online due to their support of Colin Albert and the Albert family. Therefore, their identity is known to myself and the Commonwealth, as they are fearful of any repercussions that may result due to them providing information, as there has been constant harassment and witnesses. Like, they act like they're such victims when they are the one doing all of the harassing and the lying and the making crap up and framing people. They're the ones doing all that, and yet screaming at the top of their lungs that they're the victims the whole time. It's sickening. In total, approximately 70 counterfeit $100 bills stamped with all those things were collected and recovered. The Canton police has responded to the area. Did it say ducks? I was looking for the ducks. Oh, 36 ducks with Colin did it. 36 ducks, 70 bills. All right. So the Canton Police Department has responded to the area near D&E Pizza for similar incidents. In addition to Chris Albert and members of his family, D&E employees have been the target of numerous incidents of harassment and unwanted parties at his business regarding the ongoing Commonwealth versus Reed trial. This includes harassing telephone calls and other incidents of harassment that has led to the execution of subpoenas and search warrants, including picketing of a court juror. These are all the charges. Witness intimidation, false reports to police officers. I want to know who did that. If anybody has any info on that, I missed out whatever that's talking about. I don't know who is being charged for false reports to police officers, but I want to know. These incidents have not only caused emotional injury to the Alberts, but particularly economic injury to the family business. Later, upon further examination of the evidence recovered on March 6th, 13th, April 6th, and I took note of particular differences in several of the counterfeit bills recovered. The counterfeit bills, so they're examining the difference of all the counterfeit bills. Ones recovered on the 6th had Justice for BPO Last Watch 229 stamped on the front, and Colin did it was stamped on the back. The date was obviously incorrect. Additionally, the date of 229 never existed, as 2022 was not a leap year. Okay. Thank you for investigating that, sir. Counterfeit bills recovered on March 13th and April 6th were identical. They appear to be nearly identical as the counterfeit bills on the 6th. However, the counterfeit bills recovered on the 13th and the 6th appeared to have the two in the month portion of the date manually removed. Okay. A consistent feature of all the counterfeit bills was on the front of the bill. The front and the font and ink appear to be the same on every bill, whether or not They contained the entire incorrect date or had the two in the month portion removed. I took notice of the fact that the stamp did not appear to be printed. They appeared to have been stamped by hand as they appeared misaligned. They are in different locations, and the wording appears to read at various angles. Another consistent feature of all the counterfeit bills was the rear of the bill. The Colin Did It stamp was the same on every counterfeit bill recovered. These stamps also appear to have been stamped by hand, as they also appeared misaligned. Do you see how much work already has gone into this besides or in comparison to the investigation into John's homicide? They didn't even go look around the house. They didn't even do a wellness check. They didn't pull the witnesses away and question them one by one. They let them conjure up a story. They called the police back and gave them a story. And no one went in that basement to see if no one searched the house. Oh, this is infuriating. But 2022 was not a leap year, guys, and these were stamped, not printed, because it was misaligned. So your tax dollars in Massachusetts going to good policing down there, up there. I don't know. I think you're up from Chicago. Over there. On Sunday, April 7th, 11 of the same ducks, including stickers, were removed from the areas of 2 Wentworth Road to 33 Wentworth Road. The ducks were located at various addresses, including that of MSP Trooper Michael Proctor, his private residence where he resides with his family. This includes his wife and 2 young kids. Michael Proctor is the lead investigator. So, is he intimidated now because the little rubber ducky was on his lawn? He's intimidated as a soon to be former Massachusetts State Police trooper. He's intimidated by a duck. All right, if you want to admit that. As I began my investigation into this matter, I knew that a witness had seen the counterfeit bills being thrown from a black pickup truck seen heading southbound on Washington Street. Over the next several days, I attempted to locate any black pickup trucks that may have been in the area. Upon reviewing Flock, traffic signal located at Neponset and Washington intersection, I was able to locate a black pickup truck that passed the Flock camera at approximately 15:25:52, which is 3:25 p.m. Heading northbound, this pickup truck appeared to be a Toyota with a chrome front grille. I took notice of the front with the black pickup truck did not have a Massachusetts license plate. As required. Oh no, so they don't have a license plate, so he's going to get a ticket for that probably too now. He didn't have a license plate affixed to the front, which is Massachusetts law. It had a novelty license plate. Specifically, this novelty plate appeared to be black and blue in a pattern, although my training and experience I know is a thin blue line plate, as I took notice to what appeared to be a white silhouette of a shape that possibly resembled a police badge. So here we have somebody who has a thin blue line, uh, whatchamacallit, on his vanity plate on his car. He has on his Canton fencing company, he has Karen Reed was framed written on the marquee. So this guy, I feel like this is totally targeted. Totally targeted. Although they didn't know who it was necessarily, but I do think that they might have targeted him in a way or made sure that, some kind of charges stuck because this is 36 pages long. Unbelievable. We have a long way to go still. Let me shut up and keep going. We're not going to get through all of this. I'm just going to tell you, but we're getting through a good portion of it. All right, so he looks at the flock. He found the thin blue line, whatchamacallit, novelty plate. I was later provided a video surveillance footage that views outward from inside of D&E. By the way, Chris has surveillance on his shop and uses that to get law enforcement to track down people and harass people that support Karen Reed or don't support the Commonwealth. I took note of the chrome wheels and accents as I passed by. Additionally, I took note of the sticker affixed to the upper portion of the rear window. He probably has a free Karen Reed or something kind of sticker. Again, I feel like this is just targeted retaliation for speaking up against the government. At approximately 15:29, a black pickup truck resembling the truck photographed by the flock camera appears into frame. Now traveling southbound, I immediately notice the identical front chrome grille and wheels as being the same, and the black and blue line, the novelty plate. Okay. On Tuesday, April 9th, I was able to obtain video surveillance footage from Elsie's table located on Washington Street. Also, I was able to review several clips of video surveillance footage from various angles that were captured on Saturday, April 6th. Each video captures the black pickup truck bearing the thin blue line. The display time is off by 1 hour. The system time did not adjust for daylight savings time. Okay, great. A side exterior camera that captures traffic driving towards Elsie's table shows at approximately 15:25 the black Toyota pickup truck entering the frame, then traveling towards the front of the table, or in front of Elsie's table. It comes into frame in another camera at the front of Elsie's table. The camera fixed to the front exterior of Elsie's table captures the intersection there at approximately 15:25. The same guy. Okay, so we're tracking his car. We're seeing where he goes. On Wednesday, April 10th, I obtained video from the Chai Jewish Center on Washington Street. I was able to review video surveillance footage captured on Saturday. The video provided shows traffic traveling down Washington. Video shows beyond the intersection of D&E at approximately 15:26. The vehicle, now identified as a black Toyota Tundra, bearing the same sticker fixed to the upper portion of the rear window, appears into frame. The vehicle is traveling northbound, blah, blah, blah. He's just traveling. So what? If he's not allowed to drive by D&E subs? This is crazy. Approximately, like, they don't even have him on camera doing anything. They later obtained video showing at approximately 15:32 the same Toyota Tundra was captured on camera on Wheeler Circle. Then at approximately 15:32, the same black Toyota Tundra was captured on ring camera at 12 Canterbury Drive. These streets are part of the neighborhood that consists of One Meadows Ave. This is the address of John O'Keefe prior to his homicide, currently the address where his parents reside with two of his grandchildren. Both of these minor children testified in court. As I attempted to follow the path of the black Toyota Tundra, I later obtained video footage captured by cameras located at several town of Canton locations, including, that was provided to me by Louis Jutras. He testified in court about obtaining the surveillance records and things from the Canton Library, I think it was. On Saturday, April 6th, at approximately 3:34, the same black Toyota Tundra appears on town of Canton camera. So they're just following his moves, like super close. I would be like, where's human privacy? Like, why are you chasing this guy down for rubber ducks? Where is the court order that you're supposed to be doing all these types of searches and things Who put you on this case? Chris Albert, the select board of Canton, one of the select board members of Canton, puts you on this? Like, really? I just don't understand why you're wasting all your time and resources tracking his Toyota Tundra all around. You don't even have him doing anything on camera. Through the collection of images and video surveillance, along with the use of the flock cameras, it was determined that the vehicle was in fact a black Toyota Tundra pickup truck with a front chrome grille, chrome accents throughout the exterior, an orange, black, and white sticker on the rear window, and has been determined to be a Harley Davidson logo with wings. So that sticker is a Harley Davidson logo with wings, not a free Karen Reed. But if it had been, oh boy, he would have had even more charges, I tell you. All right, several images located, captured by the flock camera system show the rear of the vehicle. These images aided in determining the orange, black, and white sticker of the rear window. Give the license plate a query of the plate. Again, don't you need a warrant or like a search warrant to look up plates or, an active case? Is this an active case of witness intimidation? This is where your dollars, your taxes are going. So a query was made of his license plate via the Registry of Motor Vehicles, lists the vehicle as a 2023 black Toyota Tundra pickup truck with a particular VIN number, and the vehicle is registered to Canton Fence Company, Inc., located on Washington Street in Stoughton. That's the Canton Fence Company. He is the president and owner, Richard Schiffler Jr. Schiffer Jr. Upon further review of the query results, the address has been previously used for the MA registry, a query of some other address. I don't know. So they've got multiple addresses on file for him. A query of vehicles registered to 125 Lake Drive shows that the same person as Richard L. Schiffler, so Richard Lewis Schiffler is the same as Richard L. Schiffler Jr., has a 2021 Harley also. On Monday, April 8th, I obtained a clear image of the black and blue thin blue line novelty license plate attached to the 2023 black Toyota Tundra pickup truck parked in the area known as the Village Shops of Canton. Okay, the Harley logo with the wings protruding from both sides affixed to the rear window can be seen in the photo. This is so detailed and descriptive. This police report is probably even more descriptive than the autopsy report for John O'Keefe. It's like down to everything. They've got everything. I even went and I further inspected the novelty plate. My gosh. Lieutenant Gallagher, who was in the area at the time, located the vehicle and began to conduct surveillance on the vehicle. While conducting surveillance on the vehicle, Lieutenant Gallagher observed Richard L. Schiffler Jr. approach the driver's side of the vehicle, enter the vehicle, and drive away from the area. Richard has been the only party observed operating and or entering the vehicle during the investigation, during the 6 months we've been investigating. On Wednesday, April 10th at approximately 12:50 p.m. Now he goes from military to now standard or whatever kind of time that is. I have no idea. I, along with Detective Barber of the Stoughton Police Department, conducted a trash pull at 125 Lake Drive, Stoughton, MA. Prior to our arrival, the rear hopper had emptied. Upon arrival, there was a single trash barrel out front. The contents of the trash barrel was emptied into the rear of the trash. Okay, great. He emptied trash. Contents of the barrel were 3 trash bags. Immediately afterwards, we returned to the Stoughton Police Department. We were followed by Canton PD Detective Will Theodore. Upon arrival at the Stoughton Police Department, the trash placed in the rear of Detective Theodore's vehicle and transported to the Canton PD. So they took his trash. Stoughton PD did. And then they gave it to Canton. They just handed it over to Canton PD. After arriving at the Canton Police Department, Detective Theodore and I began looking through the contents of each trash bag. Items retrieved from the trash contents were an empty prescription medication bottle prescribed to Richard Schiffler, a white box, an Amazon package envelope, and a FedEx package envelope. Whoa, guys, you cracked the case. Richard shops at Amazon and he takes medication. Ooh. What are they trying to prove here? The white box was a white box with partially washed off blue ink that stated Justice for BPO John O'Keefe. So same thing that was on the money. The font style in the exact same was the font style is the exact same that was used on the prop money $100 bills that was previously littered onto D&E in the area of D&E on several occasions. A sticker attached to the box stated in summary JFHY 1000 birthday. A Google search of this information yields the first link as an Amazon page where this prop money, now he calls it prop money because that's exactly what it is, prop money of the $100 bills can be purchased, specifically 1,000 pieces of prop money $100 bills made by a company called JFHY. Correct the case. Now, what are you going to do about it? It's not a crime to print money, fake money, prop money that you're not intending to use to purchase things in the U.S. economy. And that's not a crime to print it up as something to pass out. A photo was taken of the fake money. They appear to be identical. The Amazon package envelope was addressed to Richie Schiffler. The FedEx package envelope was addressed also to Rich Schiffler. The sender was, so it gave him a phone number also and a couple of addresses. Detective Theodore contacted a representative at makestickers.com via a phone number he located on their website. Upon his call being answered, he identified himself as Detective Will Theodore of the Canton, Massachusetts Police Department. He explained that he was looking to inquire about an order that he had shipped to Stoughton. He was asked to provide a reference number. He provided the reference number from the envelope, which was confirmed to be the reference number that coincided with the Stoughton address. MakeStickers.com representative stated that the order contained 250 1-inch clear circle stickers that state Colin did it, approximately 1 inch in diameter. The stickers, these are the same stickers that were located on the bottom of the ducks. They were clear, circular in shape, and contained a red-colored font that stated Colin did it. Additionally, the representative stated a previous order had been placed in December and shipped to a different address. When Detective Theodore asked what the previous address was, the representative asked Rich. Detective Theodore stated to the representative that he was not Rich, but Detective Theodore of the Canton Police Department, as he previously stated at the beginning of this conversation. The representative then referred him to the president of the company's voicemail. Good for you. You shouldn't have said anything in the first place about what it was. Detective Theodore subsequently left a voicemail for the president of MakeStickers.com. Get a subpoena like a normal person. Go to a judge, get a subpoena and say there's probable cause here and try to prove it. But you got enough corrupt judges in Massachusetts that somebody will, and then do it the right way, not by being sneaky. In follow-up correspondence, Detective Theodore was able to speak with president of MakeStickers.com, identified as Adam Fayol. During a conversation between them, Adam told Detective Theodore he would be willing to provide customer information requested upon being served legal process. And that is the way to do it. Don't give them information without a warrant. On Monday, May 13th, I applied for and was granted a search warrant. There you go. You know how to do it. So why didn't you do it in the first place? He got the search warrant. On Tuesday, May 14th, I sent an electronic copy of the search warrant via email to Adam Feel of the makerstickers.com. Later on the same day, I received 2 PDF files from Adam Fale. One PDF copy of order was noted item 1 for the order of 250 6-inch by 4-inch oval car stickers that identify the initials CFC with cantonfence.com under them. The other sticker is this order that was noted as item 2 for an order of 250 6-inch, 4-inch oval car stickers that contained the words "The Fence Guys" and their website under the words. Customer information was his name. He placed the order December 30th, 2017. Nowhere near close in time when Turtle Boy was bringing this up. This was like before. Wait. Oh, because this was the Canton one before. So he's ordered these stickers before to promote his business. The Colin Did It ones were ordered March 31st, 2024. And delivered April 4th, 2024. The order was placed on March 31st and delivered via FedEx on April 4th. The FedEx envelope located in the trash pull contents from the Stoughton address contained this reference number and shipping label. I'm not going to read that. I took note of the fact that the phone numbers listed are registered to Canton Fence and Richard Schiffer. I keep saying Schiffler. It's Schiffer. Sorry, Rich. Schiffer. My tongue just wants to say Schiffler. Additionally, the email address noted above are initials for Richard Schiffer, Jr., and the numbers coincide with the date of his birthday. On Thursday, May 16th at approximately 12:15, members of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Digital Forensics Division, Detective Barber of Stoughton Police Department, along with how many freaking people are on this? Along with Detective Sergeant Lehan and Detective Taylor of the Canton PD, went to the Canton Fence Company to execute the search warrant on May 13th. The purpose of this search warrant was to conduct a download of the information system data from the black 2023 Toyota Tundra. Why are you downloading his information from his truck? This makes no sense. Upon arrival, I spoke with an employee of Canton Fence at the front desk, identifying myself as Detective Taylor of the Canton Police Department. I informed him that I was looking to speak with Richard Schiffer. We went down a hallway to Richard's office when I informed him that I was in possession of a search warrant for the data from the infotainment system for his truck. I presented him a copy of the search warrant and he stated, "So you want the locations of my truck?" I replied, "Yes." I would have said the same thing, like, "What the fuck for?" Sorry, what the hell for? Richard went on to say that the truck really only goes from his house to his work. I stated to him that I had gathered evidence showing him being directly involved with throwing the ducks and counterfeit $100 bills from his truck, which allowed me to obtain the search warrant I gave to him. He replied that he only littered and did not commit a crime. Richard then handed me a key fob to his truck. I then brought the key fob to the Norfolk District Attorney's Digital Forensics Division technicians to perform their download. I then returned to the office to ask if Richard wanted to talk about the matter at hand. Richard initially stated yes. Upon hearing his reply, I informed him he was subject of a criminal investigation and that I was going to provide him his Miranda rights before continuing our conversation. I read a copy of the Canton PD. Guys, just don't talk. Don't talk to a cop, especially if he says you're a subject of a criminal investigation. Definitely don't talk without law enforcement. When he asked if he understood his rights, he checked yes and signed his initials. When asked if he wished to speak with me now, he checked no and signed his initials. I asked Richard if he meant to check no, as he previously stated, that he wanted to talk to me. He stated he was aware of this and had nothing to say. Detective Sergeant Lehan and I exited his office. Yeah, get out of my office. While technicians were inside Richard L. Schiffer Jr.'s truck, I opened the rear driver's side to enter and observe the downloading of the digital evidence of the informant data. Upon opening the door directly in front of me, in plain sight was an uncovered open box. The box contained a yellow duck identical to the ones that have subject on of this investigation. Additionally, in the box was an open brown paper bag. This bag contained 37 yellow ducks that had the Colin Did It sticker attached. Next to his brown paper bag was a clear Ziploc style bag that contained multiple Colin Did It stickers stuck to the inside of the bag. These items were later seized as evidence. Like, dude, you're seizing his stuff? This is illegal search and seizure. Why are you taking, like, he didn't do anything illegal. You're taking his ducks and his stickers because you don't like the message. That's the only reason why. After several attempts to download the data from the informant system, the technicians informed us they were unable to complete the download due to hardware compatibility issue, which is not uncommon as with software updates. Upon determining this, all members of law enforcement left the Canton fencing. Upon my return to Canton PD, I entered seized items into evidence. The seized items were, as noted, one yellow rubber ducky, 37 yellow rubber ducks with Colin Did It stickers attached, and one clear Ziploc style bag containing Colin Did It stickers. From follow-up conversations with the DA's office, it was determined that there was no removal instructions for this particular trim model of the mobile application. Following their conversation with Berla, this mobile application support expert, it was determined that the infotainment system data could or should be available via a different method. According to Berla system expert, the infotainment data will be available or will be able to be recovered by the DA's digital forensic technicians using this particular method. Having discovered the name Richard Schiffer Jr. in the course of this investigation, I was able to locate a Facebook profile for him. The profile picture is a picture of John O'Keefe wearing a Boston police uniform. The cover photo is a picture of his residence. Through looking through looking through his Facebook page, it is clear that this is the same Richard Schiffer that is the president and owner of Canton Fence. One of his previously used profile pictures matches the current profile picture for Canton Fence Company of himself with his arms crossed wearing black polo shirt. Additionally, the address displayed is on the page. It includes the website. A preservation request was sent to Facebook on April 12th. Now they're sending a preservation request to his social media. Seriously? This is such a violation of someone's rights. For what? He didn't do anything wrong. Upon looking through his Facebook page, I noticed several posts that he made on his wall or shared. In a Facebook post, Richard Schiffer shared on October 8th in a video clip in which attorney David Yannetti refers to Massachusetts State Trooper as Michael Proctor as corrupt. Trooper Proctor's residence is where the yellow duck with Colin Did It sticker attached was located at several residences throughout his neighborhood. So what? He didn't even know. He didn't know where everybody lives. He says he drives around Canton all the time and he just throws out these ducks everywhere. And he doesn't know who lives where. He didn't know about Proctor's address. In a Facebook post, Rich Schiffer posted on March 25th, "Pillars of the community, I do without these pieces of blank." The post contained the picture of members of the Albert family that includes Chris, Colin, and Julie. In a Facebook post, Rich Schiffer shared with the caption, "In my humble opinion, this is pretty exact." In summary, the contents of the shared post refer to several parties involved in the trial. In references, State Trooper Michael Proctor claims Colin and his uncle took John's life, and praises Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy, whose true identity is Aiden Carney, has been indicted. What they really want to do, and why I think they're going through such lengths to get Rich Schiffer, is they want to tie him somehow to Turtle Boy, to say Turtle Boy conspired with him, so that they can say, "See, look, you're getting people to spread your propaganda for you," which is obviously a bunch of BS. We have minds of our own and can think and can see. We all watched the trial. We can think logically and use our common sense and know who's lying and who's not. Several other Facebook posts and comments were made by Rich Schiff, referencing ducks, including a picture of a duck that looked identical to the ducks removed throughout the town of Canton. Recovered. Sorry, why? This gets so long and my words just get slurred. Sorry. Recovered throughout the town of Canton. This is long. I apologize for the length, but this is what it is. I really don't want it to go forever. All right, several other Facebook posts and comments were made by Rich, referencing ducks. On Sunday, May 19th, I located a Facebook post made by Rich. The post stated, "Got this visit yesterday for passing out propaganda/littering, only trying to find out who, if anyone, put me up to this. Nope, total isolated. Beware that they have nothing and just grasping at straws. I've never spoken a word to any so-called witnesses. Witch hunt after witch hunt." Yeah, like he's never even spoken to any of these people, and they're trying to get him on witness intimidation of these individuals. He's never even spoken to them. He just happens to be in the same vicinity as them and has a different opinion of them, what the Alberts think of themselves. And they know they did it. So why are they trying so hard to get people locked up and put away for intimidating them? Because they know that their involvement. I don't know why they're so adamant in playing victim. This post included a post of a search warrant that I provided to him. So he posted the search warrant. Propaganda is defined as information, especially of a biased nature or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point. So then I guess every single mainstream media news outlet spreads propaganda based on that definition. His own admission establishes that he was aware that the information being put forth by him was designed to intentionally mislead others in an attempt to promote false information in an attempt. He did not say that. I'm sure he did not say intentionally mislead others in an attempt to promote false information. I'm sure that is not what he said. In an attempt to further harass. I'm sure those were not his words. So this officer is putting words into his mouth by the way he words this. Let me read it again. His own admission establishes that he was aware that the information being put forth by him was designed to intentionally mislead others in an attempt to promote false information in an attempt to further harass members of the Albert family who testified in the trial. So it's in an attempt to also in an attempt to like what? You can't just keep saying these are all your intentions when that's clearly a lie. And he said in the interview with Turtle Boy, he just wants to get the word out. He wants justice for John O'Keefe. That was his intention, was to spread the word. Facebook post from May 19th was the second time he admitted to littering the ducks and counterfeit. Now they're back to saying it's counterfeit and counterfeit money. As noted earlier in my investigation, when I presented him with the search warrant, he stated that he only littered and did not commit a crime. He didn't. As noted throughout this, and if he did so much as litter, it would be a fine, not criminal charges against him, felony charges of witness intimidation. As noted throughout this investigation, the items littered, the counterfeit bills, the yellow ducks, both contained the phrase Colin did it on them. Norfolk County District Attorney's Office investigation cleared Colin Albert from being considered a suspect in John's homicide. Yeah, but the feds haven't cleared him yet. We don't know that. We don't know that he's cleared. Just because the DA's office says doesn't mean that it's true. Colin Albert has never been charged with any crime related to the trial. Well, maybe he should be. On Wednesday, May 22nd at approximately 8:30 a.m., a member of Norfolk County District Attorney's Digital Forensic Division, Detective Barrett at the Stoughton Police Department, along with Detectives Lehan and all these other detectives, went back to where to execute the search warrant again on May. That was to execute the search warrant that was issued on May 20th. They all went back to the Canton fencing. And the purpose of this search warrant was to conduct a download. They went back to do the download. An initial attempt was made. While speaking with Detective Barrett, Detective Barrett informed us that the Stoughton Police Department had been called to the residence the night prior. According to Detective Barrett, neighbors had called in regards to the homeowner, Richard Schifford, allegedly shooting bottle rockets at ducks coming onto his property via the pond. What? Now they're saying, okay, so now this guy is probably getting harassed by the anti-Karen reader, calling in and making false reports saying that he's blowing off bottle rockets at ducks on his pond. Why would anybody do that? Upon our arrival, I rang the doorbell and was greeted by a party known to me as Richard Schiffer Jr. Richard asked me if this was about the thing with the ducks. Not knowing what duck issue he was referring to, I explained to Richard that I was here today with a search warrant to complete a download of the infotainment from the truck. I informed him if he wanted to have a conversation, I would like to provide him his Miranda rights. Richard declined and stated that this is an issue people are pretty emotional about. Richard then gave me his key fob to conduct the download. When the vehicle door was open and the key fob was inside the vehicle, the screen illuminated displayed "Hi Richie" in the settings screen. It lists the current driver as Richie Schiffer. On the same screen under the saved profiles portion, it lists Richie Schiffer and displays primary driver. Okay, blah blah blah. This is so boring. They download the infotainment system. It was a success. Entire thing was completed on Thursday, July 11th. I was made aware of littering incident that occurred at D&E Pizza. So now there's another littering incident. As noted in Officer McDonald's report, the incident was identical to several other incidents that have occurred in the past. In previous incidents, counterfeit $100 bills were littered in front of D&E Pizza. These incidents occurred on other dates mentioned previously. Officer McDonald's report notes that the black Toyota Tundra pickup truck was captured on video driving past D&E and littering from the truck, with bills littering from the truck. This modus operandi, he's such a criminal, appeared to be the same as Richard Schiffer Jr., including the use of the black Toyota Tundra pickup truck. During the investigation of the previous incident, it was later determined that he was the owner of the truck and previously executed search warrant for the infotainment dashboard touchscreen settings displayed Richie, so it is his truck. Blah, blah, blah. They're just confirming there were no other drivers. How thorough is this compared to the like 2-page or 2-paragraph report on in investigating Brian Albert, Chris Albert, Julie Albert, Jen McCabe? All of them had like just short few paragraphs. We're still reading through this. This is amazing. How much detail has gone into this investigation. After being sent video surveillance footage by Chris, I was able to download the footage to my desktop computer and begin reviewing the footage. A camera affixed to the front window of D&E Pizza and Subs captured the following footage. All times as noted below are approximate. At 2:18, the black Toyota Tundra enters the frame from the left of Washington Street, heading towards the intersection of Boulevard. I immediately took notice of the front chrome grille and the front vanity plate, again with the novelty thin blue line plate and the silhouette of the Harley Davidson logo. So he is so descriptive. He has to describe 3 separate items on his car. That's how descriptive this guy is. Yet nobody could measure or take pictures of John's body when they got to the scene. Nobody thought to like treat it as a crime scene at all. I mean, I understand the life-saving parts come into play first because he was still breathing. He was still semi-warm. And they were trying to save his life. So you're not as focused on the preserving it as a crime scene, but you still like nobody even took a picture. Nobody even has a diagram of where he was. Nobody put down the little placards. It's the worst investigation probably we've seen. I don't know. I don't want to say thus far ever, but it's pretty bad. It's probably up there in the top 10. I was also able to obtain video from the Chai Jewish Center. Video provided shows traffic traveling on Washington, including the Washington Boulevard Street. The video shows beyond the intersection. At 2:18, the same black Toyota appears into frame, traveling down the intersection, and it proceeds straight through the intersection and continues traveling. Wow, great skilled detective work there. He went through the intersection, traveling down the street. The black camera located in the intersection captured a photo of his license plate. The distance from the intersection between Washington at Boulevard and Washington at Neponset is less than 1/5 of a mile. The photo shows the rear of the vehicle clearly displaying Tundra. It's his license plate sticker of the Harley Davidson. Okay, they're just identifying. Same VIN number as previously noted. Richard Schiffer Jr. is the president and owner of Canton Fence Company. I have provided him a search warrant at both locations regarding his home, his business and home, regarding his involvement with a previous incident nearly identical to this one. On March 6th, okay, this is all really, really repetitive. Once again, near the rear of the counterfeit bills displays Colin did it. Same thing, repetitive. All the bills recovered during the 4th incident appear to be identical. Everything about the 4th incident is nearly identical to these previous incidents. Again, he's passing out propaganda via littering. Really? He knew that they're saying he knew he was passing out propaganda via littering. He was solo during these incidents and no one put him up to it. Included in his post was a copy of the search warrant I provided to him. The investigation into the 4th incident has once again shown the black. So now there's a fourth incident, black tundra. Same old, same old. They did so much investigative work into this. Now we've got, aside from the Colin did it, there are, in reports by Officer Pecorelli and Kavanaugh from July 27th, more than 30 yellow ducks were collected with a sticker at the bottom that contained the letters if you know, you know, IYKYK. These letters are the acronym for if you know, you know. A witness reported to Officer Kavanaugh that they saw an older white male with white hair driving an older model, dark colored convertible, throwing the yellow rubber. Now he's got a convertible too, throwing out these rubber duckies with the sticker attached to the bottom. This witness later reported to me that they saw the same party in the same vehicle throwing yellow rubber ducks. This witness, who is known to Officer Kavanaugh and I and the Commonwealth, is otherwise being withheld at the time. So this witness, they're protecting their witnesses, which you know they're the crazy anti-Karen Reed people. This witness is fearful of any retribution, blah, blah, blah. I have been investigating these incidents for several months now, and this is a common trait among many witnesses who come forth with information and or evidence. Yeah, because they just want to be anonymous in wreaking havoc and violating other people's civil rights by making up false police reports and BS. It's all repetitive again. Different locations. The other location was Washington and Maple. As noted in Detective Theodore's report, Chris was asked to review any video surveillance footage that may have been captured by his cameras. I later spoke to Chris about obtaining the footage, and he was able to provide me several clips of footage surveillance photo. Of course he did. On July 27th, at 1:08 p.m., a dark color older model convertible can be seen traveling slowly on Washington Street near D&E Pizza, coming from the direction of the Waterfall Bar and Grill. As the vehicle continues to slowly travel forward, the driver, who is the lone occupant of the vehicle, can be seen extending his arm above the windshield of the vehicle and is seen throwing items out of the vehicle in the direction of Richard Lewis Formal Wear on Washington Street, which is approximately 75 feet from D&E Pizza. So, oh no, it's so close. And again, you guys, they're like this big. They're like the size of a quarter. And how is Chris even seeing them from 75 feet away, 100 feet away? It's really guarantee they walked past it or something. Like they couldn't have seen it just sitting there from that far away. I don't think so, especially if they were that small. While reviewing this particular portion of video surveillance footage, I took note of how slow the vehicle appeared to be traveling, almost coming to a stop in front of Richard Lewis Formal Wear. This location is the same as where other witnesses reported this happening. At 1:09, the same dark colored older model convertible continues traveling slowly and appears right in front of D&E as the vehicle slowly passes by the driver's right hand. You can see the driver's right hand on the scene off the steering wheel, and several yellow ducks appear to come from the vehicle as they are rolling across the ground towards D&E, indicating that they were thrown from the vehicle. Oh boy. More camera footage of this. This is now the fifth incident that Richard Schiffer has been identified as the perpetrator. I later received information that several yellow rubber ducks had been located at the patio area of Elsie's table. She is a sister-in-law of Carrie Roberts, who also testified. So because she's a sister-in-law. She's a family member of a witness in a trial. She is like that witness protection thing protects her too. Like it only protects certain classes of citizens, the witnesses, and then the non-witnesses. They don't get any kind of protection. I was able to obtain video surveillance footage from Elsie's table, blah, bitty, blah, blah. It depicted various angles. Somebody in a colored baseball hat. The display is off by 1 hour. The system display time has not been adjusted, according to Elsie Table Manager. The camera affixed to the front exterior of Elsie's table that captures the intersection of Washington and Neponset Street at approximately 1:10. The same older model vehicle drives through the intersection coming from D&E. Okay, what? This is, again, the same thing over and over again. So repetitive. Somebody says, I believe, somebody with a dark baseball hat driving the vehicle. I believe this to be Richard. Now having identified the perpetrator, they and the vehicle registered to him, which is a 1999 black Mercedes Benz, I began reviewing video surveillance footage from cameras. So now they found this convertible. Now they go around looking for this convertible. They find all these other incidents. Pine Street at Boulevard Street. All these different cameras. Ducks with the Colin did it. If you know, you know. Also the fake money, I believe, is there. Several locations of the yellow rubber ducks have significance in regards to the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. In previous incidents, Richard would target areas in the immediate vicinity to D&E Pizza. Doesn't sound like he was targeting anything because he was going around all over the place and throwing these out as like a little freebie to people. And if people were standing by, he'd give them, he hands them out to people. This is so dumb. The intersection of Washington Street and Maple Street is the entrance where members of the Albert family reside. So now you can't even go in their neighborhood. 3 of them testified in the trial. D&E Pizza is the business owned and operated by Chris. This location has been the target of Richard Schiffer's actions. But you have to prove intent then. You have to prove the intent was to put fear in these people and harass them and make them change their testimony. You have to prove that. So these people would basically have to attest to the fact that they're terrified of little tiny rubber duckies. The fact that his littering incident locations are becoming more specific to the residences and workplaces of witnesses in the Commonwealth versus Reed trial show that his behavior is escalating. Yeah, he's really escalating here. Let me tell you. He's so violent. He's throwing out little rubber duckies to the town. He's so extremely violent. We should just lock him up and throw away the key. Now there's a Saturday, August 17th, documented. This is the 6th documented incident that's occurring. Same places, same everything. I took notice of this vehicle. It is not just a black Toyota Tundra, but it was a black Toyota Tundra I am familiar with through the course of several previous investigations, more specifically the one with the silver-colored front grille and all the details that he explains. This vehicle, how long did it take him to write this report? Just the writing of it alone, let alone the investigation into this. Vehicles registered to Canton Fence Company. Later on the same day, doing surveillance of the vehicle being operated by Richard Schiffler, I observed it bearing Massachusetts license plate. So again, like just violating this guy's privacy, basically like undercover watching him for months to find out what he's, to get charges on him or something. This is just nuts. I think they were trying to get him on like get him conspiring with Turtle Boy, but that's not going to work because they've never even met until him doing the interview with them. I feel like I don't even need to read through this much more because it's all the same. Now he's doing it. Kevin Michaels, men's clothing. The area is in the immediate vicinity of D&E Pizza. So, guys, just don't go near D&E Pizza, apparently. Chris owns that little part of the street, and nobody come near him. Crazy. How much work was put into this alone? He got more of a search warrant was granted, commanding make stickers to furnish me additional information. On Tuesday, I sent the electronic search warrant and then he got a reply. The PDF copy was of an order for 250 clear circle roll labels with black writing that stated, if you know, you know. The design image proof displayed in the PDF file is the exact same black colored font for the if you know, you know. So now he's getting more subpoenas to connect the if you know, you know stickers to him, which we already knew that. Oh, this is so stupid. All of the above noted information returned via a search warrant is nearly identical to that of the search warrant from before. The customer information, such as the name, address, all of the information, MasterCard, all came back to the president and owner of Canton Fence Company. This was now the second time a search warrant had been executed that Richard Schiffer did, in fact, order stickers from makestickers.com and had them shipped from the state of Illinois. The stickers are the same type of stickers located on the yellow ducks. Now there's a seventh incident that takes place. I'm not going to read it all. It's the if you know, you know ducks. And it was near Sergeant Brady was dispatched to the address of John O'Keefe's former residence for another littering incident involving yellow ducks. Given that there were no other locations where the same yellow ducks were located, it appears as though it was targeted. And that might even be a lie because this guy said in his interview he doesn't even know where the kids live, and he would go around and just throw ducks on everybody's lawns. It wasn't just the O'Keefe's lawns. So if you're thinking this guy really was targeting them, I would say think again. But I believe this to be a lie here. Not the first time that officers of the law fabricate something in a police report. As previously noted, this is the house where John O'Keefe lived prior to his homicide. This is currently the address of the grandchildren and his elderly parents, John's elderly parents. While on scene, it was reported to Sergeant Brady that several ducks with the if you know, you know stickers were located on the same property days prior. These are the same ducks. Okay, so what? Who cares? Not a crime. A check of cameras at John O'Keefe's former residence and surrounding areas did not yield any footage showing the ducks being littered from a person or a vehicle. The exact address of John O'Keefe's residence is known to the Commonwealth and otherwise being withheld at the time. They said it earlier in their filing, so I don't know what they're trying to prove by saying we're not giving you the address when we've already shared it to you and it's been repeated hundreds of times at trial. On Saturday, September 14th, a group of people held a protest outside the Canton PD to protest. The protest was filmed by several protesters, including content creators. So what? One of the content creators is Mike Crawford, who runs. Oh, because he interviewed Mike Crawford of Young Jerks, interviewed him um, on a live stream. He was live streaming. Typically, upon completion of the live stream, both of these platforms will save the video, including audio, to be viewed and later heard. While he was live streaming, approximately 52 minutes into the live stream, Mike engages with an older white male party wearing a red MAGA King hat, sunglasses, a dark colored t shirt, and jeans at the protest. I immediately recognize this party as Richard Schiffer Jr. Their interaction begins, and Richard Schiffer handing a yellow ducky. He hands a yellow duck to Mike Crawford. On the bottom of the duck is the "If You Know, You Know" sticker that has been most recently located littered on the property of John O'Keefe's residence prior to his homicide. Mike states that he has approximately 50 of them and sees them everywhere he goes, including the North Shore. Rich asks him if he has the red one with the Colin Did It on it. Mike, displaying the duck for the camera, states, "That looks like something I could get arrested for in Canton." Rich states, "Yeah, right. Well, they went through my truck already, so they didn't find bleep." And we know, we had already known that he was investigating them because he had been posting this, and we knew the rubber duckies were being investigated. Like that was not a secret in town. So for Mike to go up and say, "Well, that looks like something I could get arrested for," that's like a total slight to Canton PD, saying like, "Why are you taking your time and resources investigating rubber ducks?" Because we knew that this was happening. And Massachusetts State Police, because Yuri Buchanan has been a part of this too, this investigation. He was seen picking up some of the ducks, I believe. All right, so Rich replies, oh wait, Mike asks Rich, "Are you the guy?" Rich replies, "Yeah, I'm the guy. It's just a joke. Tully is actually not the person who interviewed him. It was this Taylor guy, and Tully's upset about that." I mean, Taylor's upset that he didn't know who he was. So it was a joke. Tully already came to my house, my shop, my business. Tully, Lehan, and another sergeant, Stoughton cop, went through my truck, my system, my information system, and my Toyota to see where I drove in the month of March. So I started the duck campaign and the money campaign in February. So I got caught on Proctor's ring cam and a bunch of other people. I don't care because I'm fighting the fight. So anyways, they went through my thing on a Tuesday, the following Tuesday, they came to my house. I woke up in the morning at my house going through it again, the same thing, same warrant, two warrants, and you know what they didn't find, bleep. They don't find nothing. And you know what? And I got the arrest warrant. I can email it to you. So he's going to email the arrest warrant to Mike Crawford. The police officers he incorrectly referred to as Tully, meaning as coming into his residence, is actually me, Detective Taylor. So he wanted to make sure that that was clear on the record. It wasn't Tully going into his business, it was Detective Taylor. Then Mike asks, "Did they arrest you?" Rich replies, "No, not arrest warrants, but the charges that they are going to charge with me with the police report. I'll send that to you." Rich continues ranting on about Chief Rafferty, the ducks, and Rita's lawn because people were asking. Rich continues, "I am not hiding from nothing. I started this," while holding up a duck. Colin did it. While holding, I started this. Colin did it. Ones? I don't know what that. I started this. And I started this. The ones. Oh, I started the ones with. I don't know. I started the ones with this while holding up. Okay, so I started the ones with this. The Colin did it, and I started the ones with this. That's he's holding them up. It's a trigger word. You know what I mean. Affini Brothers Utility Services dump truck drives by honking its horn, and Rich can be seen throwing a duck at the truck, and it lands in the back of the dump truck. Rich turns, looks back at the camera, and says, "It went in." Mike says, "So when they came to you, did they threaten you with certain charges?" Rich replies, "They wanted to get me on intimidation, Mike. Honestly, what I think they're trying to do is connect me to Turtle Boy. So they couldn't. So this is me, myself, and I here, Mike. I've got nobody involved in this. I did this on my own, smoking a joint at night, thinking, what more can I do to effing help? So that was it. And these are my signs I made up. And I sat with the ducks, and it's been hilarious ever since. And I can't believe how it's grown. And I've sent them to Sean. I sent them to Dylan. I've sent them to everybody." Mike says, "They're on the North Shore. I'll tell you, I see them everywhere." Rick states, "But the secret is it's got to have the sticker because the stickers are the original ones. These are the original ducks. Like I said, it was an idea back in November, but in February I started it, and they just don't like the message. The bottom line is they just don't like the message." And that's true. Mike and Rich converse back and forth about how they both believe they were targeted as a way to get information about Turtle Boy. So you actually admit in your police report that they think they're being targeted by police. Okay, smart. All right. So then they state that Tully tried to send people to them to get them to tell the stories about Aiden. Rich goes on to state that the purpose of the search warrant for his truck was an attempt to show him driving to where Aiden lives and meeting with him at various locations. Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, has never been a subject of this investigation. No member of the CPD, Canton PD, involving myself has ever contacted Aiden in regards to any of the littering incidents since March 2024. Rich states the charges were going to be anything from witness intimidation right down to littering. I didn't get charged with any of them, and if you want to effing litter right, give the effing fine and let me effing pay for it. Yeah. Rich continues, "I've been here for 65 years of my life. I own a fence company. It's called Canton Fence, okay? I'm the man. I know every effing a-hole, everybody in that building right there," while pointing at the Canton police. Mike and Rich continue to converse back and forth about the town of Canton, Canton Police Department, and the night of John O'Keefe's homicide. Mike at one point asks Rich if he has a lawyer for this matter. Rich and Mike continue talking back and forth, with Rich explaining to Mike he knows the truth and has had to correct Tom DeRozier, who he's Tommy CPU on YouTube, about what he believes is the truth, claiming he knows a lot of things, and so does Peter, referring to retired Canton Police Sergeant Peter Murphy. He goes on to state that he saw Deputy Chief Tom Kelleher working a detail with Kevin Albert, and Rich states he threw more ducks out of his vehicle onto the other side of the road in the area while they were working a paid police detail. Tom DeRozier is a known vocal member of the Free Karen Reed movement that has had several interactions with the Canton Police Department. They've all been good. I mean, Tom's been decent. Tom's been well behaved. It's the PD that, most of them are good for the most part with the protesters, but some of them weren't, and they knew who to talk to and who didn't. They never had Tom's never been arrested. He's never had encounters with the police where he's other than friendly, hello, how you doing encounters. But yeah, put that in there to make it look like Tom's some hooligan. This investigation has shown him to be an active participant in Richard's duck movement. He posts the ducks on social media, live streams, and or videos with the ducks and hands them out to people at various standouts. So frickin' what? Referring back to his previous police interactions, Rich states the following: "But nothing came of it. I got no charges as of yet. I don't see anything coming down the line, and you know what? I'd be happy to tell that judge." or to tell the judge that. Over the course of approximately the last 6 months, the investigation has established that Richard L. Schiffer Jr. is the lone perpetrator committing a pattern of behavior through a series of events that have violated several Massachusetts general laws. Not only has Richard L. Schiffer violated several Massachusetts general laws, he has, on more than one occasion, publicly confessed to his crimes. Dun, dun, dun. His confessions of his crimes have come via his own admission to me in person, a Facebook social media post authored by him, and a live streamed video interview at the Canton Police Department. Prior to not with the police department, it was at the standout. They kind of worded that strangely to make it seem like he did an interview or something, which he refused to talk to them. So good for him. Prior to March 2024, Richard has never had any involvement with the Commonwealth versus Reed trial. He is a member of society that followed the case through pretrial hearings, social media posts, and other forms of media coverage. He has never been called as a witness in the matter at any point, nor does he have any known personal connections to any person involved with the case. He is a participant in the Free Karen Reed movement that has inserted himself into the Commonwealth versus Reed trial by harassing witnesses through the trial. That's his conclusion. He makes the conclusion that he's a member of the Free Karen Reed movement simply to go and harass witnesses. Come on. On or about January 19th, during a pretrial hearing, Karen Reed's attorney, Alan Jackson, made the argument on behalf of his client. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. Attorney Jackson used this expression during one of his arguments during a pretrial hearing. Richard later took the phrase used by Attorney Jackson with the Commonwealth and put it on the $100 bills and the stamps for the yellow, and came up with the yellow duckies, the use of the yellow duckies. Before and after the statements made by Attorney Jackson, Richard Schiffer posted in various Facebook groups and posting statements regarding the lead investigator. Oh no, you can't have a negative opinion about the lead investigator who was completely biased and completely inappropriate and definitely had some questionable, if not definite, actions that would equate to misconduct. After making these statements made via social media, Richard then began a pattern of escalating behaviors, again with the escalating, directed at testifying witnesses. No, he did not. And a total of 7 times. 4 of the 7 incidents included littering yellow rubber duckies with the words Colin did it or the if you know stickers attached. On the following dates, April 6th, July 27th, and August 17th, and on September 7th, Richard Schiffer Jr., by his own admission, littered these yellowed rubber duckies at these locations. All of them supposedly significant in the trial. On the property containing the residence of Michael Proctor, who is the lead investigator in the case, he lives in the residence with his wife and 2 small children who are not involved in the trial. On the following roads, okay, again, they're going through all the different roads that he left him on. I'm not even going to read through all of them. They're saying that they've been in the areas of Chris Albert's former residence. Chris Albert's, so what if it's in his former residence? His current residence, so what? D&E Pizza, the Waterfall Bar and Grill. The Elsie's Table, these other places, all these businesses in Canton. Like they're not specifically targeted at anywhere because that just proves he's going all over Canton and dropping these rubber duckies. Richard utilized these yellow rubber ducks in summation of his own words to spread propaganda litter throughout the town. He did not say in his own words to spread propaganda. That is you guys putting that on there. His own self admitted campaign of spreading propaganda has not only led to harassment of witnesses in the town of Canton, but also in the town of Easton. Caitlin Albert, daughter of Brian Albert, the niece of Chris Albert, and her fiance Tristan Morris have also located these ducks with the Colin Did It stickers littered on their property. His own admission, including a picture of a search warrant I provided him, establishes that he was aware of the information being put forth by him was designed to intentionally mislead others. Again, with the he's intentionally misleading others. No, he's not. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even if he was trying to mislead others, that's not illegal. This is ridiculous. He further admitted in a YouTube video all these things. This is just repetitive. Again, repeating. The movement, the movement of spreading propaganda via littering, then publicly admitting to it via social media and YouTube videos that have amassed approximately 70,000 views total, has encouraged people to go to D&E. How do you know that? Prove to me that that's encouraged people to go to D&E Pizza and harass employees. They take such gigantic leaps because this guy's going around passing out rubber ducks that everybody's going to go and go and harass the Alberts now. They didn't need anybody to to say, "Hey, go harass the Alberts." If they watched the trial, that would be reason enough to be like, I might go pay little Christy a visit and say, "You should just go tell the truth." They didn't need Turtle Boy or any other reason other than to watch and listen to the trial and determine for themselves that there are some people that are not telling the truth. Again, D&E Pizza, various messages, littering. Oh my goodness, several of these incidents have been responded to by Canton PD, resulting in criminal charges being filed. I'm not going to read through all of this again. In addition to utilizing Facebook to admit his crimes, he has been consistent with making Facebook posts on days he self-admittedly littered propaganda. Oh no, he's making posts on Facebook. Arrest him. This is so stupid. March 6th, made an unknown Facebook post and littered the counterfeit bills. Da, 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 da. Okay. The same, just again. They got a search warrant now for Meta. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. So here are his charges. The following crimes. Littering, for the littering on March 6th of the $100 bills. For littering on March 13th of the $100 bills. Littering on April 6th, the $100 bills. And what else? And the yellow duckies. More littering. How many instances of littering? 7 instances, right? Because they caught him 7 times. And then criminal harassment. Due to the facts established in this investigation, beginning on March 6th, Richard Schiffer Jr. has self-admittedly, by his own public proclamations, littered and spread propaganda at least 7 times at various locations throughout the town of Canton, D&E Pizza and Subs, and was his intended target. Yeah, D&E was not his intended target. He never said that. Further established by the fact that it was the only location targeted nearly every time. The location is a family business owned by Chris Albert, who has specifically been targeted by Richard's actions. Specifically, he's used the phrase "Colin did it," which falsely accuses Colin Albert of taking John's life. Or it doesn't, or it's true, but Colin did it does not say Colin Kill John. That's not what it says. It says Colin did it. Colin got into another fight. Colin did it again. Colin gets into lots of fights. It can mean anything. This is so ridiculous. Criminal harassment due to the fact the same thing 7 times. So, intimidation of a witness. This is so stupid. Such a waste of resources to be investigating this, in my opinion. Ugh. Intimidation of a witness, it's like, guys, I'm just not going to read it all because it's crazy. Later, okay, I'll start here. This is the end. Richard later took the phrase from Alan Jackson and used it to insert himself into the matter by causing emotional injury to Colin Albert through harassment. That's an interesting way to look at it. Okay. He used the walks like a duck phrase from Alan Jackson to insert himself into the matter to cause emotional injury to Colin Albert. Poor little fragile Colin. He did this through a harassment campaign he started by his own admission of spreading propaganda. Colin gave testimony before a grand jury. Uh, this is a lie, not a Massachusetts grand jury, just a federal grand jury. And he testified during Commonwealth versus Reed trial and is expected to testify in the retrial in 2025. Richard Schiffer did this with the specific intent to retaliate against Colin Albert for the homicide of John O'Keefe. So you're saying Colin did do it, so it's in retaliation of the fact that he did do it. Again, wording. It's funny the way that they word things sometimes. They don't realize they're giving themselves away. Under the belief that Colin Albert took John's life. His conduct, including the admission of his crimes, show that the intent of his behavior was to harass a witness, Colin Albert, at least 6 times in retaliation for the testimony he gave. His reckless conduct continued even after being informed that he was the subject of a criminal investigation and was served 2 search warrants for one of the vehicles he used to commit the crime. Later, during the media interview, he acknowledges being served the search warrants and being the subject of a criminal investigation with the possible charges against him, ranging from littering to witness intimidation. He went on to commit the same acts that made him the subject of the criminal investigation at least 4 additional times. He later stated during the same interview that this was a campaign he started, no one is involved with him, and he reiterated that he did it on its own. He went on to say that he has not yet been charged with any crimes, did not see any coming forward, and would be happy to tell that to the judge. That's how he ends it. You know what? Good. I'll take it to the judge, mister, and I will tell them this is ridiculous and I didn't do anything wrong. This is so stupid. I cannot. If I lived in Massachusetts in the town of Canton, I would be furious that my tax dollars went to this investigation, a 6-month long investigation on rubber ducks. What does that tell you? And they don't investigate a cop who is unconscious, looks like he had been beaten. They don't investigate that thoroughly. Yet rubber ducks get and counterfeit money are getting more of a police investigation than John ever did. And that is something to be ashamed of. Absolutely, utterly ashamed. Sickening. Sickening how much work they did on this. Like, I'm laughing because I still can't believe that we just read through all that. And this is an official police report. What do you guys think about Duckgate? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye now.